a very, very dangerous escalation. There's no question. These are ballistic missiles that are much faster and much more deadly than the ones that Iran fired off in the direction of Israel in April, I want to say. Mm-hmm. Back then, it was mostly cruise missiles and drones and rockets. This is a different level. Back then, they gave ample warning and allowing Israel to prepare for the incoming missiles. They were able to, I think there was only one of the Iranian missiles that harmlessly struck Israeli territory. This time it looks like there have been several missiles that have gone through the Iron Dome, and we don't know the extent of damage. This is a much, much more deadly attack. Also, we're hearing from some parts of the Iranian media that there'll be secondary and more attacks, that this is not a one-off. If some of those missiles have struck Israeli targets, if the Israeli lives have been lost, it's hard for me to imagine that Israel won't retaliate in some way. So we've been having several conversations about escalation, about a tipping point into a war. This is as close as we've ever been.
Well, let's talk about that tipping point. You can't see the future. None of us can see the future, but we know what's happened over the last year, Bobby. And I'm wondering to what extent you think there will be more of an escalation before there will be an end of this war. What does that look like to you?
I don't see an end of this war happening anytime soon. If anything, over the last 3 or 4 days, the scope of the war has greatly expanded. Now you have Israeli ground troops in Lebanon. The conflict with Hezbollah has greatly ramped up. And if Iran now wants to have a direct role, then this will become much, much worse. I can only imagine, this is a horrible cliche, but it is true, it will get a lot worse before it even begins to get better. And to answer your question, what does it look like at the end? We're so far into unknown territory now, I don't even dare speculate.
Who else gets drawn in? President Biden directed the U.S. military to aid Israel's defense against the Iranian attacks, shoot down missiles that are targeting Israel. That came from the National Security Council. They put that out on Twitter, X. So who else gets drawn in?
Well, we get drawn in. The United States is the most obvious party to this. As you say, the Biden administration we're already participating in the defense of Israel. The question is, if Iran continues second, third wave of attacks, then what the United States does. The Biden administration has flown in more jets into the region, more boots on the ground. That will continue to increase.